Hold on to your seats because Diddy's attorney, Mark Egio, has just dropped a bombshell statement addressing the explosive allegations Kim Porter made against him in her leaked memoir. But that's not all. Kim Porter's close friend is now coming forward with tapes she entrusted to him before her untimely death. And let me tell you, these tapes are jaw-dropping. What could possibly be on them? Secrets that could change everything? Keep watching, because this is about to get wild. Eyes.
The title? Kim's Lost Words. It's currently a bestseller on Amazon, and it's filled with explosive claims that her 2018 death was due to foul play. Passages are filled with details of physical abuse, sexual coercion, and other acts of violence Combs allegedly committed against Kim. Now, their 4 kids are speaking out, denouncing it as lies. Quote, claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. The book, riddled with typos and written by a man using a pseudonym, contains alleged first-hand diaries and notes from Kim talking about Diddy, including, quote, out of nowhere, he hit me with a chair. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in a hospital room. My arm was in a cast. As I came to, the first face I saw was of the man that put me here.
When I lost Kim, it broke my heart forever.
Is a house really a home when your loved ones is gone?
Diddy's lawyer calls the alleged memoir fake and offensive. It also marks the first time Quincy, Christian, and the twins, Jesse and Delilah, have spoken out since their father's arrest, saying, quote, the cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play. According to the autopsy report, Kim died of natural causes from lobar pneumonia, which is an infection of the lungs.
Diddy and Kim Porter's whirlwind relationship spanned nearly 2 decades, starting in the early 90s and officially ending in 2007. But the story didn't end there. Tragically, in 2018, Kim passed away from pneumonia, or at least, that's the official story. From the moment of her death, whispers of suspicion swirled. Diddy wasted no time professing his undying love for her publicly, but those close to the situation painted a much darker picture. According to insiders, their relationship was far from the fairy tale Diddy described. It was allegedly abusive. And here's the shocking part. There are claims that Diddy even passed Kim around to other men. Can you believe this? What really happened behind closed doors?
That smothering her with the pillows and all that, like he playing with her. I know she was tired.
Yeah, he also told Rolling Stone that Diddy, he's a jealous person that don't know what love is.
He knows that, bruh. Kim couldn't have nobody, bruh. Kim couldn't have nobody. You understand what I'm saying, bruh? Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wasn't letting that happen. Unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro. He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy that he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim, they all party together. Man, he used Kim for that shit, bro.
Wow, so he used Kim for that?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You don't do that to somebody you're supposed to love, man.
Do you remember any situation where he used her for that?
I know a couple situations, but I know the people so well, man, and so good, and they some good people in Atlanta that had major groups that they party like that with them and their girls, or the girls they brought into that, and I'm not gonna mention their name, man. But they know who I'm talking about. I got a lot of respect for dude. But I know of situations. I've seen situations like that in the Swiss Hotel.
So what is some of the situation? Don't name the people, just what's the situation?
When he used Kim, to party with him and his girl and the other dude, and they switch up, they do their thing, they do that rock and roll lifestyle, bro.
So he was using her for sexual activity, like orgies and, threesomes and stuff like that.
Yeah. With other girls, other guys, yeah.
Things are heating up as an unedited copy of Kim Porter's explosive memoir has just been handed over to the FBI by none other than Courtney Burgess. And that's not all. Courtney also submitted 8 jaw-dropping freak-off tapes and 11 flash drives that Kim allegedly entrusted to him before her untimely death. According to Courtney, he only handed them over after being subpoenaed in a federal case. Here's where it gets even wilder. Kim's memoir reportedly lays out shocking details about how Diddy allegedly orchestrated his trafficking operations. Now, with the book in the hands of prosecutors, could this be the smoking gun that changes everything?
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let me
be
rephrase
right,
it.
Based on yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all. To be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
Chain records.
You made a lot of allegations, right? Are you expected to eventually turn those things over, or
Well, that's what we're going to head over to do now. So we have a hearing now to determine what we're going to do in terms of what documents we'll have to turn over and what documents we do not have.
So why were you in court tonight?
Just to give testimony to the grand jury. He was subpoenaed by the court, so as we all know, if you don't answer a subpoena, the marshals will come to your house as they came to his house and they will bring you here. So that's why we're here today.
I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual factual footage.
We have, it's things that we have, but we got to go to the other courthouse. So I don't know if that's any more questions, but we kind of got another hearing to go.
Are you nervous or do you feel cool?
Nah, I ain't never nervous. The only thing that's fair to me is God.
I know you did mention what was on the flash drive before. Would you be able to kind of go over that now, or is that something that you can't discuss?
No, we're trying to go to discuss that now, what we will be able to talk to in terms of what was available and what was on those flash drives.
Okay.
But it was the book,
So it is Kim Porter's book, but not necessarily some of the stuff with the celebs that were mentioned besides.
It's hers. Nobody touched it.
Oh, so it is her official book.
Yes. Nobody.
And no one touched it.
Nobody altered it. Nothing.
So it's not the copy that the gentleman said that he was selling before. No.
No.
It's 2 different copies. That one was edited, and we have the original copy.
Some of the very people Diddy allegedly forced Cassie to have intimate encounters with are now speaking out. Back in May 2018, Jonathan A.I. was arrested following a shooting at Trump's National Doral Golf Course in Miami. But during his interrogation, Jonathan dropped a bombshell, claiming Diddy was using him as a slave. And that's not all. He also pointed fingers at Hollywood's so-called gay mafia, alleging they were forcing him into criminal acts.
Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter, okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Diddy's attorney is claiming they've lined up over 49 witnesses ready to testify against him, and boldly states that prosecutors don't have any tapes. But let's call this what it is: a complete lie. We've already seen the damning footage circulating online. Yes, those tapes, showing Kevin Hart, Usher, and Diddy himself standing alongside a hooker at one of Diddy's infamous parties. If Diddy's legal team is getting caught in blatant lies this easily, things aren't looking good for him. And let's be real, if this keeps up, the chances of Diddy making bail are practically non-existent.
You believe it's one victim and 49 witnesses who saw this behavior. That's pretty powerful, though, to have that many people who have, if they go to court and argue that they witnessed this behavior by your client.
Well, no,
what's your defense against that kind of
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual. Nobody was too drunk. Nobody was too high. These were adults in a relation. This is a 10-year relationship. We can't forget that. This is a 10-year relationship, and it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there wanted to be there. So I feel very confident in our position.
You said you interviewed the men, but what about the women?
I haven't interviewed the woman. The woman's not available to me. She's presumably a grand jury witness, and we would not. We cannot try to interview a grand jury witness.
You talked about. You said you're portraying this as adults who were at these events that wanted to be. I shouldn't even call them events. That's not certainly how anyone else would label it. But that they wanted to be there. But they also alleged that they were recorded and essentially used as blackmail. Is that not true?
That's not true. That's not true.
How can you prove that when they have electronic evidence that, as they argue, over 90 cell phones, laptops, iCloud storage accounts, 30 electronic and storage devices, hard drives, thumb drives. Yeah. You're not worried about that?
No, because if they had it, they would have put it in the indictment.
Diddy, once hailed as the untouchable titan of hip-hop, has always been surrounded by controversy. His infamous all-white parties were legendary, extravagant, star-studded affairs that had Hollywood buzzing. Attendees described them as the epitome of glamour, with a touch of the bizarre. But while the cameras captured the glitz, there were always whispers of something darker lurking in the shadows. Rumors of secret after-parties so exclusive and mysterious that even Hollywood's elite avoided them began to surface. Now those whispers have grown into deafening roars, with shocking allegations of sex trafficking and racketeering tied to these notorious gatherings, now chillingly referred to as freak-offs.
Diddy was once known for his boisterous personality, often appearing as a fun-loving guy who would host great parties, including his now infamous white party. But since his fall from grace, many who have filed lawsuits against him allege sinister activities were going on behind the scenes. At the center of the government's case against Diddy are his alleged freak-offs, which according to the indictment were elaborate and produced sex performances that Diddy arranged, directed, pleasured himself to, and often electronically recorded. But the freak-offs were first alluded to in Cassie's now settled federal civil lawsuit that was filed in November of last year and settled within a day. In the suit, it says Diddy would repeatedly ask Cassie at random moments that he wanted a freak-off or FO, and she was expected to facilitate the location and hiring of male sex workers. The suit would go on to say during their relationship, the mogul would insist on an FO weekly, which would often take place in hotel suites. It's alleged Diddy would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, which included cities in the United States, and he would require Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements.
After a video of Diddy physically abusing Cassie back in 2016 leaked to CNN, other victims realized they could finally get justice.
The walls are closing in on Diddy after a 2016 video of him physically assaulting Cassie leaked to CNN, sparking a wave of courage among his other victims. For years, these survivors lived in silence, but now they see a chance for justice. Many are stepping forward to share harrowing accounts of the abuse they endured, allegedly at the hands of Diddy and his co-conspirators. one such victim, Thalia Graves, has filed a bombshell 26-page lawsuit, naming both Diddy and his bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, as defendants.
That woman was visibly emotional during the news conference as she recounted a horrific and violent assault.
The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words.
Thalia Graves, sitting next to her attorney, Gloria Allred, alleges Sean Diddy Combs and his former bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, drugged and raped her at Bad Boys Record Studio in 2001 when she was 25 years old.
I'm emotionally scarred. It has been hard for me to trust others, to form healthy relationships, or even feel safe in my own skin.
According to the lawsuit filed on Tuesday in New York, Thalia was lured to the studio under false pretenses. She claims she was given a drink spiked with drugs, causing her to pass out. When she woke up, Thalia says she was restrained and being brutally assaulted by Diddy and his bodyguard.
Flashbacks, nightmares, and intrusive thoughts make me feel like it's a constant struggle.
In 2023, Thalia says she found out the rape had been recorded and through the years had been distributed to multiple people.
Defendant Combs and another defendant published and/or disseminated the videos without plaintiff's knowledge or consent.
Combs is facing at least 10 similar lawsuits. He remains locked up awaiting trial on human trafficking and racketeering charges.
I'm glad that he is locked up, but that's a temporary feeling of relief.
Thalia says she didn't go public until now because she says that Combs allegedly threatened to ruin her life if she said anything.
The nightmare doesn't stop there. It only gets darker. Over 100 new lawsuits have just been filed against Diddy, and the majority of them involve minors. Yes, you read that right. Minors. These shocking new allegations were brought to light by Houston-based personal injury lawyer Tony Busby, who revealed that some victims were as young as 9 years old when they were allegedly abused.
Since the day Diddy was indicted for sex trafficking and racketeering, we've been warning you he's just the tip of the iceberg. Today we're being told a list of Diddy's accomplices will drop very soon. Powerhouse attorney Tony Busby just announced that more than 100 people are filing lawsuits against Diddy and others for sexual abuse. 24 of the victims are minors, one of them as young as 9 years old. Diddy allegedly used the promise of a record deal to lure that young victim to his recording studio, where the child was assaulted by Diddy and several others. Diddy's team says the allegations are meritless, but Busby says his upcoming lawsuits will be naming names.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. The names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. And I'm talking about the people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are. These defendants will not only include individuals, but would also include corporate entities who ultimately profited off of this culture and behavior. I'm looking at banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels.
This string of lawsuits could shake up the top levels of corporate America and Hollywood. Another lawyer says some of Diddy's secret sex tapes are being shopped around. The tape features an A-list celebrity who doesn't seem to realize they were being recorded.
Tony Busby just dropped a bombshell, revealing that the lawsuits filed against Diddy don't just stop at him, they also include the names of some of the biggest celebrities in the industry and even heads of major American corporations. The web of power and corruption surrounding Diddy is unraveling fast. We already know he was caught bribing hotel staff to cover up his actions with Cassie, but now it seems like the spotlight is widening. Could this be the moment where Diddy's powerful allies are exposed? The names tied to this case might shock the entire industry.
And I'm sure that's probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
That is so generous of you. Cheers to that.
See you at the White Party.
13, 14, 15. We're talking about 25 people so far out of 120 cases that we intend to file. I would expect there'll be a lot more cases than that. Let's not forget, we're talking about behavior that took place over more than 25 years, all over the United States, but primarily in New York, California, and Miami.
And some of these names that I guess will be coming out, who allegedly aided and abetted Diddy and his twisted little escapades, are these names that I would know, that people would recognize? How high is this going up?
Certainly names that you would recognize. And let's think about the kind of people that would be involved in this. People that would be in the room, that would be facilitating this, egging this kind of thing on, encouraging this, participating, venues that were participating, sponsors, hotels, banks. Let's remember that a lot of people were being flown in from across the country and paid in cash. Obviously, that cash had to come somewhere. There had to be some explanation for taking out that much cash from the bank. We already know that there were a lot of drugs in play. So there are many facets of this. There are many people involved. There are many entities involved. And the ones that really irk me, there's been a lot of focus on, well, who are the celebrities? Who are the celebrities? What I'm more focused on, obviously, to the extent there's a celebrity that it occurred at their house or that they were involved or participated, they will certainly be named. But what really irks me are those who profited off of this culture that was created and that just essentially ruined hundreds of lives.
And we're talking banks, we're talking record executives.
Record companies, other companies that were sponsors of some of these parties and after parties, clubs, hotels. You name it. This conduct was, this wasn't an annual party. This individual allegedly was partying 3 or 4 times a week, and these parties were wild. They were beyond your imagination, and they were nasty. And there were a lot of things going on that should not go on, and a lot of victims that were being subjected to exploitation and all kinds of sexual conduct that people just should not be subjected to.
All right, well, hopefully more people, alleged victims, come forward and we get the full accountability, because we want everybody who was complicit in this to pay a price if they were.
One name that's raising eyebrows in this unfolding drama is Ashton Kutcher. The Hollywood star, once a regular at Diddy's infamous parties and someone deeply connected with Jay-Z, is now making headlines for a surprising reason. He's talking about leaving Hollywood altogether. The timing of this sudden decision is nothing short of suspicious. Let's not forget, Ashton's credibility took a massive hit when he publicly supported convicted rapist Danny Masterson back in 2023.
Ashton Kutcher, he has a right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy. Remember they used to have that group called the what do they call it? The Brat Pack? With Diddy, him and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo, one other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So they all might be worried. His tape recorders went. His camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape already.
He growing unease among celebrities linked to Diddy is understandable, especially considering the chilling allegations about what went down at his parties. Insiders claim that both the drinks and even the baby oil at these infamous gatherings were spiked with GHB and ecstasy, substances known for lowering inhibitions and making guests more open to activities they'd normally never consider. This revelation has cast a new light on recent controversies, including Kevin Hart's involvement in a video that shocked fans. According to rumors, Kevin wasn't acting of his own free will. he was allegedly drugged.
Everybody moves out. You know, just me and the lady. This is my scene. I'm used to this type of thing. You know, doing what I do best. Oh! Did the camera catch that? Got the camera! Got the camera!
All right, okay. First of all, I know it looks bad with me running into the camera. Okay, it was Puffy's party. He's called me, said, "Kev, can you host a party with me?" I said, "Yeah, dude." I said, "I'll do it." He said, "Look, we creating this little sexy scene in the bathroom." I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be hot." I'm promoting the party. I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is a nice event. You see, we up here in the tub." First of all, if somebody's hair is on fire, it's a panic. Yo, your hair. It should be crazy. This is all I heard. I heard, "Yo, your hair's on fire." I turned around, I saw it, I was like, "Oh!" The flame grew, like it was like somebody threw gasoline on it. Like, so my first instinct was to save myself, because at the end of the day, I don't want to die. Weaves are the most flammable thing out. A weave, if there had been another girl next to her with a weave, that thing would have caught faster than the forest fire. So I just said, let me save myself.
You said I mentioned Justin Bieber. You ain't said I mentioned Kevin Hart.
Okay. Well, what's going on with Kevin Hart?
I don't know, man.
Oh, okay.
You know, the internet is going wild on him, saying that he was a curator and a narrator of one of the Diddy parties and got caught on tape. You didn't hear that?
Wow. I didn't hear that one.
That must be one of your favorite. That must be one of your favorite comedians then. Cause you didn't hear that?
That was cool.
Huh?
I didn't hear it.
Get out of here.
It was cool, but I didn't hear that one. I must have missed it, man. I think I caught most of them.
I think he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. Diddy had some girls in the tub, a tub of baby oil or something like that, and he almost fell in the tub. It was crazy.
You know, he would be one of the celebrities that I definitely wouldn't think would be involved in anything illegal, for sure.
But you gotta realize this, man. People who get caught up in certain those things like that, those parties and things like that, is that they don't go there looking for that stuff. You gotta understand, they get caught up in the moment with the alcohol, the drugs, and then certain bottles that are laced with certain things that take you away from your normal self. And you end up probably doing something that you probably never do again in your life. You never get caught up in those things.
The pressure is mounting, and Hollywood's elite are scrambling as two of the biggest names in the music industry are now being dragged into these explosive lawsuits. It's a ticking time bomb, and many know their names might be next on the list. Ashton Kutcher has already agreed to testify, raising questions about what he might reveal, but others are taking a different approach. Rumor has it that some, like Ellen DeGeneres, are even gearing up to flee the country.
So that's that. Now, as far as Jay-Z is concerned, this can really go one of two ways. This might be an isolated one-off case that he has to defend, or potentially it could be a Me Too type situation where other victims come forward. Obviously, we saw that with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. So the coming days and weeks are really going to be telling, and Tony Busby says he has more than 100, maybe up to 300 victims he's representing. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of them also name Jay-Z.
And Nima, if such a high-profile name like Jay-Z has come out, could more celebrity names be tied to these lawsuits? What do you think we can expect?
No question. This may just be the first celebrity domino, and Jay-Z was unmasked as celebrity A, but let's not forget there's a celebrity B in that same lawsuit that allegedly witnessed the sexual assault, a female celebrity. And there was someone who went on CNN earlier this week and said that his sexual assault was witnessed by another celebrity as well. So I think we're going to see more celebrity names identified very soon.
All right, Nima Rani, thank you so much for joining us. As you said, this is one that has entered the court of public opinion. It's nice to have your actual legal advice on it.
Tony Busby, the powerhouse lawyer spearheading over 36 lawsuits against Diddy, just dropped another bombshell. According to Busby, there's an extensive list of individuals tied to Diddy's dark dealings. These aren't just bystanders. Many of these celebrities allegedly helped Diddy cover up his abusive behavior. and in some cases, even participated in it. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the industry.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
The allegations against Diddy just keep stacking higher, and the latest uncovered footage has his legal team in full-blown damage control. With Kim Porter's memoir, The Shocking Tapes, and an avalanche of witness testimonies now in the hands of prosecutors, it seems the truth might finally be catching up to him. As more names are dragged into the spotlight and public demand for accountability grows louder, one thing is certain: this case is far from over. But here's the real question. Will justice prevail, or will Diddy's power and influence keep him untouchable? What's your take on all this? Is the industry about to see a reckoning? Let us know in the comments. On Fire